In this episode, we will understand how to implement Post API using Hapi JS. So let's begin. For implementing the Post API using Hapi JS, we have a project in place with Hapi and NodeMon configured. Please find the link in the description for an episode on how this can be configured. We will be using a JSON file as a source of data for implementing the Post API. Let's go ahead and create that data source, which will be a listing of products. We'll create a folder called data, within which we'll create a file called products.json. We have the contents for this data already in place. As we can see here, this is a listing of a few products with some attributes. Next, we will read the contents of this file and make it available to the application. We'll use the file system module for reading this file. We'll use read file sync function from this module. Next, we will parse this JSON and convert it into a JavaScript object. With this in place, next we will implement the Post API. For that, we'll define a root and a corresponding handler. The method will be post, path will be products, handler will take two arguments, a request and a response toolkit from Hapi. Here first, we will read the request body, which will contain the product details. We can get the payload by calling request.payload, which will be the request body. Next, we will define a variable called max id, which will be initialized to 0. We need this to get a unique id. We will calculate this unique id for the product by identifying the max identifier value from our products.json for any given product. So to identify that, let's iterate through the list of products and get their ID and then understand which one is the maximum value. Once we have identified the max ID, we will then assign that value incremented by 1 to the newly passed product. We will then push this product into the product list array, and this product will be returned as a response. We will also implement a get all API, which will return all the products. This will be required for verifying whether a product is getting added or not. With these two APIs in place, let's verify if post API is working as expected or not. Let's start the server. Let's make the API call. First, we'll verify if get is working as we think it should. So we are getting a listing of all the products. Now we'll call the post API. We'll pass a JSON payload, the product details. Let's copy an existing product information and just modify it. Let's call this. There is an error here. I think the port is already in use, so let's change the port to 8082. Now we'll call the get API and change the port. Yes, it's working as expected. Now we'll call the post API, changing the port. And as we see here, we're getting a response with an ID 5. Next, we'll again call the get API. We see here that the new product has been added here. If you found this episode helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to keep yourself updated on our future episodes. Thank you.
At Spinsage, we provide digital consultancy services including web and mobile app development. For inquiries, please visit spinsage.com.